This time of year, Yellowstone National Park is a hotspot for visitors who come from all over. And the park has released its August visitation statistics. This year, the park saw an increase of about 0.75% from August of 2018. Now, according to National Park Service press release, the park hosted about 820,000 people just last month. Now that brings the year-to-date total for the park up to over 3,114,000. Park officials urge travelers to plan ahead given the high level of visitation and to check current conditions before arriving. Well, the Billings Clinic's Cancer Center opened 10 years ago here in Billings and has found treatments that help patients around the country. Today, some of the center's patients joining in the celebration of the 10th anniversary.
And you are not expected to do it all by yourself. There were others helping out every step of the way, and I was not alone on this journey.
It's like walking into my family's house and being wrapped and embraced and by everybody.
Patients talked about the center, which was designed to make them comfortable while going through their treatment. Now, the center started in 2009, and new treatments were part of the vision. Dr. John Schallenkamp talked about CAR T-cell therapy and the nurse navigation program. He says comprehensive cancer centers are affiliated with medical schools, but Billings Clinic is at the top for the community of this size and even larger.
You know, by definition, we can't be there, not yet. But when it comes to the next step, what we offer here is really hard to say that everyone's doing what we're doing, because they're not. We put a lot of resources into this. The support we have for the patients and the providers and their families is phenomenal. It's a broad package.
The Billings Clinic Cancer Center cost $31.9 million in 2009 and sees about 1,600 patients every year. Well, for over 30 years, the Montana Hope Project has granted the wishes of 477 critically ill Montana children. Now, today, the group bumped that number up to 478. The 17-year-old Pacey Whitford, her mom, and a friend get to go on an all-expense-paid trip to Disney World, actually. The Montana Hope Project presented Pacey and her family with the trip this afternoon at Rara's Pizzeria. A classic car meetup group also helped donate money to the cause, and Pacey's original wish was to go to Comic-Con, a regional comic book convention, but she decided on Disney World because it was something her entire family could enjoy.
Not all my family really likes that stuff, so I decided to just do Florida because I figured everyone would enjoy it more than Comic-Con. It feels really good. It feels good to be walking again, just doing normal things that a kid should do.
A very sweet and selfless decision. Pacey and her family leave for Disney World on October 1st. 5 years ago, 65 people enjoyed roasted pig at the very first Oxfest at the Red Ox off of 4th Avenue North over on the east side of Billings. Now today, the food choices have expanded for that event and they celebrate local businesses. Now the Oxfest 5 featured 18 food trucks and 20 arts and craft vendors. Red Ox Manufacturing makes all kinds of products, including bags, backpacks, and outdoor gear. The company started in Billings in 1986, and the company just added a stage area with its new landscaping. And for many, the Oxfest has become quite the tradition.
A lot of people ask about it. When are you doing it? You know, school's already back in session, so it's kind of the last hurrah for summer. We've always sought to, promote made in Montana, of course. And so I think by bringing a lot of even smaller businesses than us together, we're stronger together. For the most part, you pray for good weather, and you get that, and it just kind of happens now.
Now, Oxfest also included a tour of Red Ox's factory, and Jim Markle says he expects a couple thousand to come out to the Oxfest today. Well, Talos Faith and Fitness hosted the Festivus Games today. Now, the games are a national CrossFit style competition and an opportunity for the average athlete to put their training to the test. Q2's Jenny Fick was there today to check out just how grueling that competition is.
3, 2, 1, go! Stand it up!
In its 5th year, the Festivus Games are described as feats of strength for the rest of us.
Festivus is a takeoff of Seinfeld. It's Festivus for the rest of us, so it's a good opportunity for those that are coming in. It's like an average Joe competition.
Athletes around the world are challenged to CrossFit-style workouts through the games. This year, Talos Fitness hosted the event.
It's like within like a 250-mile radius, all the gyms that are nearby. So we're hosting in this area.
Festivus Games put beginner and intermediate athletes to the test.
Experiencing what it is to compete. It's a great environment because one, they're not seeing like your regional athlete here. That's so intimidating. It's more people, that kind of just are starting out working out.
Athletes are required to complete 4 different workouts throughout the day.
One's like a deadlift, dumbbells, and box jumps, then kettlebells, wall balls, and like snatches. So athletes are going to be feeling it at the end of the day, but it'll be good for them.
This year featured 2-person, same-sex teams.
Each gym has a really tight community itself. Like this is a way of like connecting abroad to see others and just form like relationships beyond.
As you can see, one of the main differences between a normal workout and the Festivus Games is the amount of energy in this room, as well as the support that the athletes receive.
The atmosphere, you really can't beat it. It's phenomenal.
The lighthearted competition features teams with fun names and camaraderie.
Having people cheer you on, it makes a difference within getting that very last rep. It's crucial. Once you do one competition, you're hooked.
In Billings, Jenny Fick, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Jenny. And Talos Faith and Fitness is at 100 South 24th Street West. It's number 7. Well, stay with us. More to come on the 5:30 news. Deer, elk, and moose antlers, all highly sought after fixtures for hunters. After the break, find out how antlers form throughout the years. Later in sports, can the Cats capitalize on last week's momentum with a win on the road? Highlights from Illinois on the way. But first, let's check in with our friend Rob Griggs over in the Weather Center.
Hey, thanks, Zoe. Well, after an unseasonably warm day today, we're looking down the barrel of near record heat Sunday. But there is some cooler temperatures and potential rain on the horizon. I'll give you the complete Q2 Storm Tracker forecast in just a few minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Zoe Zandora, Storm Tracker weather with Rob Griggs, and sports with Casey Conlon. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.